to talk about work that Wesley Mission does to help address the issue of homelessness in Australia is Heather McIntyre, one of my team, who has responsibility for financial and gambling counselling services, but a whole host of other things too. Welcome, Heather, to the show.
Thank you, Keith.
Now, the work we do in financial and gambling counselling and other work is not geared just to that area. It's all about trying to prevent, isn't it, the inevitable. Tell us what we understand by early intervention. It's a kind of buzzword at the moment. So what does it actually mean?
So the way that I like to explain these programs is exactly what you're saying. Wesley Mission works it does a lot of work with homelessness services, people who are homeless. We do a lot of work with children in out-of-home care, and then we talk about the continuum of care. So this is down this end of the continuum. The programs that I manage and work with are down the other end. So it's all about prevention and early intervention. Our aim is to keep these families strengthened and as connected to their communities so that they don't escalate into serious issues.
Now that's in theory. What do we actually do though? What are the practical things that we do?
We do a whole range of things. So we've had a breakfast club in a particular school in a very high need area for about 14 years. So week in, week out, the families attend this breakfast club so that in practical terms, these kids who otherwise would be hungry during the day have something in their stomachs and are able to learn better. We have supported playgroups, we link parents to different services, we have our financial and gambling counsellors that you've mentioned, a whole range of activities, a whole range of services, counselling, in order to keep families together and strong, particularly through transition times in their lives, which are often the danger periods.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who will be watching or listening. The thought that children might actually not have food for the day doesn't feel like a very Australian story, does it really? It's a real story of need, if you like, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a lot of need out there, and I think we're all aware of the impact that the cost of housing particularly is having on families in Sydney. And, you know, some of our families have to decide if they are going to pay their rent or if they are going to put food in front of their children.
So the story in cities and regional areas all across Australia is of the need to get in early. And is that what it's really all about, getting in there early when a problem seems to be germinating and starting to...
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, the transition times are the most important times. So it could be a young couple, you know, life's going really well, and then they have a baby. And that baby has an impact on a huge impact on their lives at times. Then this child, we know the importance of the first 1,000 days of a child's life. Mm-hmm. So the attachment to the parents is really important. So Wesley Mission works with parents on parenting programs, the supported play groups, a whole lot of play activities, everything that is designed to make those connections stronger between the baby and their parents. But then we follow the child's life, you know, as they get older, going into preschool. We know the importance of 2 years of quality preschool before that child goes to school.
So you've started there, but we're talking about homelessness. What's the link between those two things?
Again, if we can get in early and stop these families from escalating into the next level of service, we have done our work. And we have a lot of very skilled staff on the ground who know the importance of this early intervention work. And it can look from the outside as though we're having, you know, a great time playing with kids, running these programs. But unless these programs are there, the families can very quickly go into a very difficult place. Wesley Mission operates emergency relief, which again is about if a week might come and all the bills come in at once and the family may need assistance, the fridge will break down. So something just to buy the fridge. That simple act of just having enough money to buy that fridge can stop that family from escalating into...
Now, you've worked for us over 15 years now, so that's been important work at Wesley Mission. Tell us what your faith means to you in relation to the work that you do.
I know that I answer this question now very differently to 15 years ago when I was first interviewed for Wesley Mission. As I've got older, I think partly the work we do, partly family situation, much more aware of the sadness in the world, of the loneliness and the despair. And I've always been a very action person, so just like to get in there and get things done. But I think now my faith is quieter and more contemplative than it has ever been before. No less real and probably much more important.
So the personal relationship with God in Christ is critical to the work you do every day.
Absolutely. I don't know how, given the number of families, the number of stories we hear where things have gone really wrong, and just the overall sadness. If you do not have that faith, I think it makes it very difficult to continue. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's always a delight to have members of the Wesley Mission team sharing and also being prepared to link the work they do to their walk with God and their faith and commitment. Heather, it's a delight to have had you on the show.